Have you ever felt like you just don't want to see anyone for a while? Not because you hate people, not because you want to disappear forever. You just want to step away from everything, get quiet, rebuild yourself, and come back different. No announcements, no explanations, no constant updates about what you're doing. Just silence. Because sometimes the most exhausting part of changing your life isn't the work itself. It's having people watch you while you're trying to change. When you're disappointed in yourself, embarrassed by a failure, or simply tired of the person you've been becoming, you may start craving something you didn't realize you needed: privacy. You stop wanting advice. You stop
Everything
wanting
okay?
people to ask
Good
how you're doing.
morning.
You stop wanting to explain
I thought I
why
had it all
you're not
figured
where
out.
you thought you'd be.
But engineering
You
is...
just want enough space to figure yourself out without feeling like you're being observed. And that doesn't automatically mean you're antisocial. Sometimes it simply means you're tired of performing a version of yourself for everyone else while you're still trying to figure out who you actually are. Think about the last time you decided you were finally going to change. Maybe it happened late at night when everything was quiet and you were frustrated with yourself. You suddenly felt certain that tomorrow would be different. You were going to get in shape, start the business, study more, fix your sleep, stop wasting hours on your phone, and finally become the person you've been imagining for years. Then you told someone, maybe a friend, maybe your family. Maybe you posted about it, and they encouraged you. I'm proud of you. You're going to crush it. That's amazing. And for a moment, you felt incredible. But here's where things get interesting. Talking about a future version of yourself can sometimes give you a small taste of the emotional reward you're hoping to get from actually becoming that person. People recognize your ambition before you've had to prove anything. You get attention, encouragement, and validation. For a moment, the distance between who you are and who you want to become feels smaller. But the next morning still comes. The work is still waiting. You still have to wake up when you don't feel motivated, study when you'd rather do something else, go to the gym, make difficult decisions, and repeat the boring things nobody will ever see. That's the difference between talking about change and actually changing. One gives you a feeling, the other requires consistency. This is why keeping some goals private can sometimes be useful. Not because silence is magical, and not because you need to cut everyone out, but because sometimes your goals need less attention and more action. There's a difference between being supported and being constantly observed. When everyone knows what you're trying to accomplish, even a small setback can start feeling public. You miss a week at the gym and someone asks what happened. Your business isn't working yet and someone wants an update. You're struggling emotionally and people keep checking whether you're doing better. They may genuinely care, but when you're already insecure about your progress, being watched can create another layer of pressure. Instead of simply asking, "Am I improving?" part of your mind starts asking, "Am I improving fast enough? What are they going to think? What if I fail again?" Now you're not just trying to change your life, you're trying to manage an audience. And sometimes that's when the desire to disappear becomes strongest. Especially after something goes wrong. A breakup, losing a job, a financial mistake, a business failing, a dream that didn't work, or simply reaching a point where you look at your life and realize, this isn't who I wanted to become. The failure itself hurts, but being seen inside the failure can feel even more uncomfortable. Now you're dealing with the pain and everyone's questions about the pain, their advice, their concern, their opinions, sometimes even their pity. And when you're already questioning yourself, that attention can make everything feel heavier. You don't necessarily want someone to fix you, you just want enough space to understand what happened. And that's where solitude can be useful. But solitude isn't the same as isolation. Healthy solitude gives you room to think, process, and reconnect with yourself. Isolation can slowly convince you that you don't need anyone, even when connection would actually help. So if you feel like stepping away from people for a while, maybe you don't need to disappear from everyone's life. Maybe you need boundaries. Less posting, less explaining, less comparing, less announcing, more doing. And this matters even more because we've turned self-improvement into a performance. Look at the internet. 4 a.m. wake-ups, black coffee, cold showers, dark gyms, books about discipline, perfect morning routines, monk mode. It looks powerful, it looks cinematic, but real transformation usually looks nothing like that. Real transformation is often incredibly boring. You sit at your desk when nobody knows you're working. You go to the gym when you don't feel motivated. You study when nobody is going to praise you. You put your phone away when nobody would have known you were scrolling. You make a better decision when there's no audience around to notice it. That's the part nobody posts. And eventually, the excitement disappears. This is where a lot of people quit. The beginning of change feels good. The middle doesn't. At first, you feel like you've finally taken control of your life. Then a few weeks pass. The routine becomes normal. The excitement fades. Your old habits start calling you back. Suddenly, the old version of your life starts looking strangely attractive. Not necessarily because it was better, but because it was familiar. We often gravitate toward familiar patterns because they feel more predictable than uncertainty. So changing your life can feel uncomfortable even when you know your old life wasn't making you happy. You're not only changing your habits, you're changing what feels normal.
And sometimes that affects your relationships too. Maybe you stop drinking every weekend. Maybe you stop answering every message immediately. Maybe you stop joining conversations that constantly leave you exhausted. Maybe you start taking your goals more seriously. Nothing dramatic happened. You simply changed. And suddenly, some relationships feel different. You might start wondering, were we actually connected? Or were we connected because we lived the same way? But be careful with that question. It doesn't mean everyone around you is fake, and it doesn't mean you need to hate your friends or cut everyone off. You don't need to hate someone to outgrow a lifestyle. Sometimes people simply belong to a chapter of your life that you're no longer living in, and that's okay. Growing doesn't always mean leaving people behind. Sometimes it means becoming more intentional about who you spend your time with, what you allow into your mind, and what influences the person you're becoming. The same idea applies to your mistakes. Don't use your pain as evidence that something is wrong with you. Use it as information. Regret can show you what you don't want to repeat. Failure can reveal where your strategy wasn't working. Embarrassment can show you what actually matters to you. A breakup can expose patterns you were refusing to see. You don't have to carry shame forever just to prove that you learned the lesson. You just have to be honest enough not to waste it. Because rebuilding isn't about becoming a completely different person overnight. It's about making enough small decisions that eventually your life stops resembling the version you were trying to escape. If you really want to rebuild quietly, start with 3 things. First, stop announcing every intention. You don't need to tell everyone what you're about to do. Let the beginning belong to you. You don't need to announce a new routine before you've actually lived it. Second, protect your attention. Not everyone needs access to your plans. Not everyone needs to know your progress. And not every private struggle needs to become a public conversation. Some things are allowed to remain yours. And third, learn to be consistent without needing an audience. This might be the hardest part, because when nobody knows what you're doing, nobody is coming to congratulate you. There's no applause, no public validation, and no one checking whether you completed today's work. It's just you and the promise you made to yourself. And that's where something important starts to change. You stop working because you want people to notice. You start working because you respect the person you're trying to become. Eventually, the person you originally wanted to impress starts becoming irrelevant. Maybe in the beginning you wanted to disappear so you could come back successful and make everyone regret doubting you. You imagined their reaction, their surprise, the moment they finally said, "I can't believe how much you've changed." But if you do the work long enough, you may discover something. You don't care anymore. You don't need the reaction. You don't need the apology. You don't need everyone to admit they were wrong. Somewhere along the way, you stopped rebuilding your life for them. You started rebuilding it for yourself. And that is the real transformation. Not becoming untouchable, not becoming cold, not becoming someone who doesn't doesn't need anybody. It's becoming secure enough that your life no longer depends on an audience. So if you've been feeling the urge to step away from everyone for a while, don't immediately ask yourself, why am I becoming so antisocial? Ask a better question. What am I trying to hear now that the world has been too loud for me to hear? Maybe you need rest. Maybe you need boundaries. Maybe you need to grieve something. Maybe you need to stop performing a version of yourself that no longer fits. Or maybe you simply need enough quiet to remember what you actually want. You don't have to disappear forever. You don't have to cut everyone off. Sometimes you just need to become less available to the noise so you can become more available to your own life. And when you finally come back, don't make an announcement. You don't need to explain where you've been. Let your life speak for you. Let your habits speak. Let your decisions speak. Let your peace speak. Because the strongest version of you probably won't need to explain what happened. They'll be too busy living the life they built while nobody was watching. So if this video described something you've been feeling lately, tell me in the comments. Are you trying to disappear from people, or are you simply trying to get back to yourself? And if you want more psychology-based videos about the hidden patterns behind the way we think, behave, and change, subscribe, because sometimes understanding your mind is the first step towards changing your life.